All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, I wanted to really break down Mike White's dominant performance. I feel like it needs to be talked about. It needs to be highlighted. What a day, what a game, what a win for Mike White, a guy making his first NFL start. And then, of course, I did want to touch on the future of the quarterback position for this team as far as what the plan should be moving forward. Obviously, there's a lot of speculation about what the Jets should do, what the Jets will do. Obviously, we have that big rumor that Zach Wilson could be coming back from his injury early. We traded for Joe Flacco. We still have Josh Johnson on the roster. So I wanted to give my thoughts on what I think the Jets should do. And then, of course, down below in the comment section, I really want to see where you guys stand on this as well. So with that being said, let's jump in. So it's not an over-exaggeration to say that Mike White's performance yesterday against the Cincinnati Bengals was one of the best quarterback performances in franchise history. I mean, let's take a look at the numbers. He was 37 of 45, which equates to an 82 completion percentage. That is nuts. That is crazy. Okay, 405 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He was successful on a crucial 2-point conversion where he caught the Philly special. He did have 2 interceptions, though. That's never anything to write home about. But I will say this, as far as 1 interception is concerned, it was the right read. He was checking it down to Michael Carter. The ball literally bounced off of the face. It bounced off of Michael Carter's head and landed in the defender's arms. Okay, so it wasn't like he was making some horrible mistake down the field, throwing into triple coverage. The game is tied late, and it was just this game-losing pick. No, everything was right on the play. If Michael Carter just looked alive there, the numbers would have been even better by a small margin. But still, I think that needs to be said. It wasn't like 2 horrendous mistakes. So when we take those numbers into consideration and we look at who we were playing, the Bengals, the 1 seed in the AFC, a great defense. I would say it's a top 10 defense. Tons of talent all over the field. The offense can put up points. I mean, it's not like we were playing some one-sided team where we just have to worry about the offense or we just have to worry about the defense. No, the Bengals are legit. The Bengals are for real. They are a 5-win team for a reason. Tons of talent, well-coached, well-rounded. That's what the Bengals are. I expect that team to make the playoffs this upcoming season. So we factor in the numbers, we factor in who we were playing, and now we add on top of that this was Mike White's first start. I can't say enough about this performance. I think there were 3 major keys, 3 big things that led to his dominant day. 3 things that I felt like were on full display from start to finish. Number 1, the poise. Mike White was poised. He not only just hung in the pocket, he looked like he belonged. He wasn't shying away. He wasn't throwing off a back foot. He was hanging in the pocket. He was taking hits. When things went awry, when his first read wasn't there, even we can point to the trick play where it almost looked like it was going to be botched. The Bengals were, they were all over it. Mike White kind of messed with the snap a little bit. That play ended up turning into a positive because Mike White kept his composure. He followed through. He executed. The poise from Mike White was unbelievable. Again, from start to finish, from the first snap to the last snap, Mike White, he looked like he belonged. He looked like you could really tell the difference as far as age and experience between Zach Wilson and Mike White. And of course, we can say going into yesterday's game, Mike White had 0 NFL starts. In fact, Zach Wilson actually has more NFL playing experience, but I felt like really the difference here is all of those years of practice, all of those years reading a defense, all of those years being in the meeting rooms for Mike White. He's been in the league for a while now, a couple years. His time in Dallas, his time with the Jets under Adam Gase, Joe Flacco, Sam Darnold, learning on the practice squad, being called up, being sent down, being called up, being sent down. And even this season as well, I felt like that was really the foundation of yesterday's performance from Mike. You could just tell he was a little bit more polished, a little bit more refined than what we've seen from Zach Wilson this season. Number 2, he was decisive. He knew exactly where to go with the football at all times. At all times. I mean, I felt like every time Mike White dropped back, the ball was never going to be in harm's way. And I know it might sound a little ironic considering he had 2 first quarter interceptions. But again, it's not like he was making some horrendous reads like, what are you doing? Sam Darnold had a lot of those plays. We're actually seeing Darnold do that a lot in Carolina. Zach Wilson too, where he's throwing in harm's way. Frankly, passes that should not be thrown. Again, with Mike White, I felt like every time this guy dropped back to throw, he was making a smart, calculated decision with the football. He wasn't putting the offense in a jam. He wasn't careless with the football. He was taking what the defense gave him. It was almost reminiscent, and I might get some heat for this, but it was almost reminiscent of the early Tom Brady days, where it was, yes, it was a lot of short passing, it was a lot of checkdowns, dump offs to the running backs, but he was efficient. Again, he had 37 completions, 82 completion percentage. Okay, so he was moving the chains. He was keeping the offense on the field, controlling time of possession. His processing post-snap was great. It was great. He wasn't really confused by the coverage. Really, thinking back on it, there was one play during the game where I'm thinking, we got away with one. We really got away with one. And it wasn't actually either of the two interceptions. I was actually fine on both of those throws, but it was when Ty Johnson leaked out on the left side of the field, and Mike White, there was some pressure there. He tried to kind of loft it over a couple defenders into Johnson's breadbasket, but there just wasn't enough on the pass, and it was nearly picked off. But that wasn't so much of like a horrible decision. I felt like that was more so just a physical limitation. Just you got to put more on the pass there. But really, that was the only throw that I'm like, not that good. But hey, again, given the circumstances, who cares? It was one pass and it ended up just being incomplete. So he was poised, he was decisive. The third thing, he was accurate. When he did drop back and throw, not only was he throwing to the right guy, but the ball was on the money. We talked about one of the interceptions before where the ball bounces right off of Michael Carter's helmet, but whether it's a check down, whether it's a quick little curl route where, you're just reading the defense, what kind of coverage are they in, and then bam, the ball is out, or a really difficult throw like hitting Braxton Berrios in the end zone, that was a really, really difficult throw. That's an easy pass to throw behind Berrios there, and he didn't. He put it right on the money. So I felt like all day Mike White was accurate. He was making good decisions with the football, and when he made those decisions, he put the ball right where it needed to be. So I felt like those three aspects were really what laid the groundwork. It was the foundation for Mike White's dominant performance, not only just from a personal level, just like a personal stat level, but also because the team got a win and the offense was able to move. For the first time all year, the offense moved. We won time of possession. We won passing, rushing, total plays, total yards. I mean, this offense was efficient under Mike White, and I cannot say enough about it. I cannot say enough about Mike White. I am so pumped. So pumped. So now we're looking ahead. Thursday night football against the Colts. It's a short week. What's happening moving forward? We're at the halfway point of the NFL season. We traded for Joe Flacco. Zach Wilson could be coming back from his injury early. Mike White coming off of a game like that, what do? Robert Saleh was actually asked about it after the game, and his response was, and I quote, "We'll take it day by day, but anything's possible." So he didn't commit to one guy, he didn't commit to another guy. He kind of left it a little vague. So, not necessarily the worst answer in the world, not the best answer in the world, but, kept it vague, and I respect it. Kind of a coach type of answer, but this is what I would do. If I was running the New York Jets, this is what I personally would do. I'm starting Mike White, and I'm playing Mike White until the wheels fall off. Until he starts to struggle, if that even happens. I mean, who knows? Maybe Mike White just plays lights out for the rest of the season, but until I don't feel like Mike White gives me the best chance to win, I'm rolling with him. And I feel that way for a multitude of reasons. 4 to 5 points. Let's start with the first point. I feel like it'll be beneficial for Zach Wilson to sit on the bench, to sit and learn. At the end of the day, he is young, age-wise, experience-wise. He's a rookie in this league. I feel like sitting on the bench with all the pressure off of him, he can get healthy. He can learn from Mike White. I mean, there was a lot to learn from yesterday's game. How to take care of the football, where to go with the football, not to really be aggressive, not to push, not to put the offense in bad situations. And of course, we do have to credit Mike LaFleur and his play calling. It was way better yesterday, him being up in the box. So that should be a permanent change. But I do feel like at the end of the day, Zach Wilson he won't be just stifling on the bench. His progress won't be stagnant. He's going to learn. He's going to learn a lot about this offense, but he's not going to have to do it on the fly. Point number 2, this one's super obvious. Mike White just gives the team the best chance to win. We have to look at how the season has transpired so far. With Zach Wilson, there's been ups, there's been downs, and you know what? He's a rookie. That's completely okay. It's completely expected. He's a rookie being coached by rookie coaches. So, of course, there's going to be peaks and valleys, but I feel like with Mike White, I mean, of course, we have to look at the sample sizes. Against the Bengals, he was fantastic, and even in that second half against the Patriots, I felt like Mike White, he did some pretty solid things moving the offense, just with checking the ball down, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. But right now, Mike White, I feel like he might not provide that upside, that crazy down the field explosiveness that, you know, I mean, what we saw against the Tennessee Titans, what we saw in preseason, he might not provide the Jets offense with that mobility from the quarterback position as well, but he gives us some consistency. He gives us more of a steady hand, if you will, and I feel like right now that's what the team needs. We need some consistency from the quarterback position. We don't need to be erratic. We don't need to be erratic and letting things get out of hand. So that's number 2. Mike White gives the team the best chance to win. Number 3, if you go with a guy like Joe Flacco or something like that, whether it's this upcoming Thursday or the week after that against the Buffalo Bills or even Zach Wilson by that point, what does it say to the locker room? What does it say to the locker room? I mean, yesterday after the game was insane. That Saleh speech, guys tweeting, oh, we expected Mike White to do this. He's a dog. He's great. You know, we see him in practice. This guy's a great ball player. We love Mike White. What message does it send to the locker room to say, you know what, the guy that just beat the Bengals in his first start, that threw for 400 plus, it sounds crazy to even say that everybody is seeming to rally behind, we're taking that guy out for Joe Flacco. We're taking that guy out for Zach Wilson. You know, with Zach Wilson, you have an argument. He's, you know, the franchise, the hopeful franchise quarterback here. But I feel like it sends a bad message to the locker room, almost putting the quarterback above the team, quarterback above wins, quarterback development above wins. So I don't really feel like it sends the best message to the players. That's a pretty shaky thing, especially when you're dealing with a first-year head coach. You don't want to lose the locker room as a first-year head coach. That cannot be in the cards. So you don't want to be perceived as a guy that values quarterback development, values the future over the present. So just a sketchy thing that we have to take into consideration. And then point number 4, let's just say that does happen. You know, Mike LaFleur's in the booth. Maybe we figured out the play calling aspect. Zach Wilson has not only just gotten healthy, but he's had some time on the bench, a couple weeks, and now we're inserting him back into the lineup. Let's say Zach Wilson plays poorly. Let's say we start off another game and we don't score in the first quarter. We end the game, Zach Wilson 2 interceptions. He's not moving the football. What do we do? Do we continue to roll with Zach and continue to just hope that we break the trend? Do you go back to Mike White? It's just, it opens up Pandora's box. It opens up a slew of nightmares, a slew of issues rather. It creates more problems if you do that. So personally, I feel like the right choice is to go with the guy that the guys are rallying behind, the players are rallying behind. Go with the hot hand. Go with the guy that gives you more consistency right now at the quarterback position. But in turn, from Zach Wilson's perspective, it's not like he's getting worse. It's not like being on the bench is hurting his development. It's not like he's, on some massive mega deal. We're paying him $35 million. He needs to be out there. No, he's a rookie quarterback being coached by rookies. I think there's a lot that can be learned on the bench with no pressure. He can get healthy, no pressure. Joe Flacco's now in the quarterback rooms as well. He could bounce ideas off of him. He can learn a lot. Let's take the pressure off of Zach Wilson. Almost like a starting pitcher, a young electric starting pitcher. He's doing some great things. There were some ups and some downs, but now it's time to put the reliever in. Now it's time to put the closer in for a little bit. The closer being Mike White. So that's just my take. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I cannot wait to see where you stand on this one. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And go Jets.